really want to do some more research, but I believe in Mobile, Alabama, that they had actually, there was supposed to be a leprechaun spotting. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not.
Mobile. Yeah, apparently there was a area there that there was a real leprechaun. Now some said that it was like his shadow, and some but several said they saw him, and the people were actually driving there to Alabama to go see him. So I don't know. I don't know if they had someone dressed up or what, but I thought about doing my research and trying to find out, but anyway.
I wonder if he had a pot of gold.
Well, that's what one said. So he was apparently up in this tree. So they said you could see him. So I don't know if it was like a doll, or I don't know what it was. I don't know, but it looked like a leprechaun alive. But this one gentleman said that he was going to dig up the tree. He was going to go home and get his tractor and dig that tree up to see if the pot of gold's underneath that tree.
Oh goodness!
I know.
I looked at Mobile, Alabama leprechaun, and there is an amateur sketch that someone did, like a police sketch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said
looks
on the loose.
Like a leprechaun.
Can you imagine if we would have just loaded up in our car and headed down there, and we're here to see the leprechaun?
We want to see the leprechaun.
Yeah, we want to see the pot of gold, right? Whoever's property that was on, I don't think that they allow that to happen. So, and I don't know if he's still there or if he's gone. I don't know if he'll be back next year, maybe. All right, so that was the 17th, which I do love St. Patrick's Day. I do think it's a fun day, and it's fun to wear green. And I was always taught that you don't leave home if you don't have. You make sure you have green on.
Yes.
Very important. Yeah. So with 6 daughters, I always made sure that they had green on, Melissa.
Yeah, they would have blamed you.
Yeah. No blaming. And another tradition that I like to watch The Quiet Man with John Wayne.
Quiet Man.
Yeah, it's a really good show.
I know that I've seen that, but I can't think of which one it is. There's so many John Wayne movies.
It's called The Quiet Man, and it's really a good Irish movie to watch, and so I always will have to watch that on my St. Patrick's Day. Sometime at some point in the day, I like to try to catch it. All right, we're on to the 18th day, onward ho. The 18th day of March day is Act Happy Day. I don't have to act. I am happy. Are you?
Oh, goodness. Act happy.
Act Happy Day. And I think, you know what? I think it's like I think it's a mindset. If you're happy, and you know it, I guess clap your hands. But don't you feel that way?
They always say to fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And I think that, that if you're not extremely happy, attitude of gratitude, and be happy, and maybe if you have to act it, maybe it'll come out, I guess, right?
Right.
So
try to look for the positive.
Exactly. Always look for the positives. This is also Awkward Moments Day. I have those all the time, awkward moments. Do you ever experience those?
Yes, I have experienced many awkward moments in my life.
Still going strong with that one, right? I do that all the time. This is also Dribble to Work Day, and it shows a basketball. But I guess you could dribble your coffee, I guess.
I was thinking like a baby, like drool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. True. Forgive Mom and Dad Day.
That's a good one.
Okay, Goddess of Fertility Day. No wonder I was born on this day. I might have found what my purpose, what I am the goddess of. There we go. I love that. This is also National Lacy Oatmeal Cookie Day. And I guess it looks like an oatmeal cookie that's got like several like breaks and it kind of, I guess, looks like a lace, maybe. I don't know. This is National Sloppy Joe Day. You like Sloppy Joes, Melissa?
Yeah, I like sloppy joes.
Me too. I've just not had one forever. I forget about them.
They're easy. I mean, it's something easy to make.
Yeah, I think that, and I think if you serve the Sloppy Joe and a bag of chips, don't you think that's good? Chips?
Yeah, that'd be good.
It always goes together.
You're getting your potatoes.
Yeah, definitely got to have a potato, right? National Supreme Sacrifice Day.
Oh.
Yeah. So get out and enjoy the wonderful and the supreme sacrifice we know. Yeah. So get out and enjoy today for sure. All right, Melissa. So glad to have you with us in Hoosier Uplands, and you guys still going strong. All kinds of activities going on there, and of course, before too long, I know you've got the preschool going on, and the kids will be having. Do they have spring break?
Yes. I know that the Head Start takes like the same breaks that like the schools do.
Right, and that works out well, don't you think?
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, so that's going on, and of course we know springtime. Spring is in the air, or we feel it. Of course, today it's a little bit harder to feel. It's a little chillier today. I don't want to complain, just explain, but we're not going to get up real warm right now. Our current temperature is 27, and our high today is going to be 38. So it's actually going to be colder than a cave. So. So if you want to get warm, go to a cave, right? To get warmer.
So how cold is a cave?
Is it? Oh, now you've got me. Is it 42? Isn't it 42? Am I right? I think it's 42. So it's. I know it's not. I know it's warmer than 38. I think a cave is 42.
Because it's white. Depending upon the cave, it is widely accepted that they are between 50 and 70.
Oh. Well, maybe
I wouldn't think they'd be that warm.
Yeah, I don't think. I thought they were around 42. I didn't. Those are some warm.
It could be though caves like all over, like all over the world.
Yeah, yeah. I've never been in a 70-degree cave. Yeah. Yeah.
Mammoth Cave is 54.
Okay. See, that's what I kind of. Okay. So I said 40. Yeah, 54. That makes sense. So I said 48. Or what did I say? What did I? I said 42. 42. Okay. Well, maybe I feel like it's 40. Anyway, so we're going to be cooler than a cave today, but we're not complaining, just explaining. It looks like tomorrow we're going to bounce back stronger. Our high tomorrow's 54. Love that. Wednesday, 54. Back down 49. And actually, the pick of the week is Friday with 62.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
I know. I love that. Love that. So are you doing like flip-flops yet? Have you started doing all that?
Yeah, I've had days that I have wore flip-flops and days that I've wore like my Uggs.
Oh yeah.
It's been very confusing what shoes to wear.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely, yeah. And really trying to figure out how to dress, don't you feel?
Yeah, I agree.
And it seems like
now I'm in my office and it's warm because I have the door shut, and so the heat's been on like all weekend, and so like when you open my office after the heat's been on, it's warm. It's too warm.
Oh yeah, like a sauna. I always I'm not even. I wouldn't even be mad though. I like it really warm. Yeah, I'm a little bit. Yeah, I'm not probably the best for people to hang out with on that. All right, let's jump in with springtime coming around the corner, and the grass is getting green. Things are budding out, which the Bradford pears are looking beautiful right now. The tulips are coming up. Let's see here, what else? The daffodils. Everything's looking really pretty right now.
Yeah, it is. I know, like we have trees. Like some of our trees in our yard are starting to have beds on them, and they're looking very nice.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. Love the signs of spring for sure. And I think our birds are coming back. I think they're realizing that it's time to come back and do their thing. So Beautiful.
We have geese. Two. I always assume. I mean, I assume it's the same two geese, but they come every year, like in our subdivision, and come over by the little pond in our subdivision, and they always have their babies there.
Oh, so cute. So have they started having their babies yet?
I haven't seen babies, but they are there.
They're there. Okay. Well, they're getting ready. The calm before the storm, right?
Yep.
That's going to be exciting.
So one day, whenever we drive by, we'll see them out walking around. They're really cute when they're babies.
I want one. I want a duck really bad. I just don't know. I don't know how. I just don't know what I would do with it, but I want one. All right, Melissa. Yeah, I know. That's a whole nother ball game, though. You know, I mean, wanting a duck and not knowing what you do with it, but I want one. I think they're so fun. I think that would be the way to go. So I did. I just saw Donald. We went on a little trip real quick to Disney and had a wonderful time. And back home, anyway, within it was a real quick few-hour trip, but it was a good trip. And saw Mickey, Minnie, and Donald, and did some work, did some fun, and had a great time. But anyway, back home in time for Monday morning here on Coffee Club. So. They're all's well and beautiful weather. I tried to bring back that weather with me, but it just didn't follow me. So
I was going to say I have a friend that was in Orlando this weekend, but she said it was hot. Yeah. So she was like, I'm just on the balcony and it's very warm.
Yeah, love that. Yeah. Not complaining very much, explaining on that one. Very good. Yeah, it's a big difference for sure. All right, I think we were going to talk about blood donations today. Is that right, Melissa?
Yes.
All right.
But it's kind of ironic because after I had, whenever I was looking up about blood donations, I looked up to see if we had any blood drives near us. Uh-huh. And we have one today in our area, and then we have like several that are coming up in the area.
I love that.
So I thought that was nice. And so today at the Salem High School, there's a blood drive from 9 to 3. And then Ascension St. Vincent is having a blood drive from 10 to 3 on Thursday. And then Friday at the YMCA, there's one from noon to 5.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, I know the one at the school goes really fast. I mean, I know, like, it's hard, like, to get in. It's kind of like to get in there. I know that they're very busy there at the school.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of the actual, like, the teenagers are allowed, I think some of the students are allowed to give, too.
Yes.
And go ahead.
It looks like that teenagers are allowed to donate as long as you're... Some I don't know about Indiana. I should have probably looked this up. But it said that in most states you have to be 17, but there are some states that you can be 16 with parental consent.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I think that sounds right. Yeah. And not only the wonderful thing about the school and having it, not only do they get to participate, but in learning to give back and to, you know, it's a great way to give back to your fellow man, but it's also they work it too. Like they are the ones that like schedule and help the people, and they do the high school. I think it's fantastic that this high school hosts it there.
I think it's a good idea to be able to learn things like that at an early age.
Yeah. I think so too. So it's always a great time, and I'm very happy that our students get to be a part of that.
And you can go to the American Red Cross website, and that's like where you can look up blood drives, and you can just type in your zip code, and it will bring up the blood drives in your area by date.
Right. And you do. They encourage you to actually make appointments. I'm a blood donor, so they encourage to make appointments. But you might, if you didn't get an appointment made, you might just do. They do sometimes take walk-ins.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a little bit of a side note on that. If you haven't signed up, you might see if there's availability. You can always stop in and ask. If not, they do like you to kind of pre-register.
Right.
So, how important, and so, Melissa, is it, I mean, the blood donations, it seems like we always are in need of blood.
Yeah, we are always in need of blood, and some statistics that I found is that every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood or platelets. And so, I mean, since we've been sitting here, there would have been, several people that would have needed blood just since we've been on the telephone this morning. And approximately 29,000 units of red blood cells are needed every day in the United States.
Wow.
And the average transfusion uses 3 units of blood.
Oh,
and a single car accident victim can require as many as 100 units of blood just for that one person in a car accident.
Oh my goodness, 100 units of blood?
Yes.
Oh wow.
All these are off of the American Red Cross site.
Wow.
And the blood type most often requested by hospitals is type O. And a donation can help to save more than one life. And according to the American Cancer Society, more than 1.9 million people are expected to be diagnosed with a cancer that may require blood products. And sometimes they could end up needing them daily during chemo.
Well, that's something. I think that's the reason that it was so near and dear to me. My mom had to had to have blood, and I think that I learned that it's so important. Blood is something that you just can't go. You can't go to Walmart and buy. This is completely something that we have to give, and everybody giving when you're able to give.
And also. And it does say that blood and platelets cannot be manufactured. They can only come from donors. So, out of all the things that modern medicine is able to, replicate and duplicate, there is no way to get blood besides donations.
Right. And so that's, and those are things to keep in mind, Yeah. Whenever you're like thinking about, should I give or should I not give? If you're able to give, I mean, that's always a huge blessing.
And also another thing that I had learned, because I had done an article, it's been several years ago, about donating, if you want to donate, and how that, there's different rules for donating. And they have really looked at the guidelines for blood donation, and they have made it more easy for people to donate. Like some people, like in the past, if maybe you were told that you can't donate, you may be able to now because they've kind of learned that some of the things that they had restricted, they don't need to.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So right now, the general guidelines are that you have to be in good health and that you must feel well at the time that you give blood. You must maintain your iron levels to be a healthy donor. You must be at least 17 in most states. You must weigh at least 110 pounds. And you must have not donated in the last 56 days. And then I looked up some things that maybe in the past, people couldn't have donated. And now they're saying for like general health considerations that if you have like a fever or a cough where you're actually coughing stuff up, to not come and donate, to wait at least 8 days or 7 days between. No, sorry, I got that mixed up. It says to wait until your fever is gone and you are no longer producing any, sputum whenever you cough, that you're not coughing things up, and wait until you have completed any antibiotics. That if you just have, like, allergy-type symptoms, they are okay with you donating. It's just, like, if you have, like, where you're actually sick and are feverish and coughing things up.
Well, I think in this area, I think, don't we all?
Yeah.
I think everybody has that wonderful allergies, right? We all have.
I definitely do.
Yeah. When your phone tells you there's a pollen count alert, pollen alert.
You probably have an allergy.
Yeah. I'm sure there's something that's going to be stirring up something. Yeah. So that's, but that's good, and it's good to make sure that, like you said, the key word is if you feel well and feel healthy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And also, if you've had a blood transfusion, you need to wait 3 months before donating. So if you yourself have had a blood transfusion, you can donate, but it has to be 3 months after your transfusion.
Now, how would you, how many bags would you have to have for a blood transfusion?
Well, it could be like a bag or more. It's like when Sean was getting his transfusions, there would be times where he may just get 1 bag, or sometimes they would do like 3 a day. It would just, kind of depend. But the American Red Cross would consider that if you've had any type of transfusion, they would want you to wait 3 months.
Okay.
And then if you have had a dental procedure or an oral surgery type thing, you can donate 3 days after that, as long as you don't have any kind of infection present.
Well, I don't remember seeing that on the paper about the dental. I'm thinking that, like, you have to fill out questionnaire before you give blood. And I do remember, like, if you've, given, like last time you gave blood. And then also, I do remember, like, if you've had a blood transfusion. But I don't remember the part about the dental. Maybe it's on there and I just forgot. But.
And then women that are on hormone replacement therapy for menopause, they are eligible to donate. Because I guess that there had at one point in time been a question on that. But that is one of the times that a person, the hormone replacement doesn't, matter for donation of blood. And if they used to would ask questions about sexual orientation, and they are not they no longer are as concerned about people that, like in the past, they used to say that if a man was, like had a partner that was a man, that he was not able to donate blood, and they have since decided that gender is not, people having same-sex partners are no longer automatically just told they can't donate blood.
Well, that's interesting.
And let's see, persons who are pregnant should not donate, and you should wait 6 weeks after you give birth. And if you have gotten a tattoo, they used to say that you should wait 3 months, but now they say that you would only need to wait 3 months if you got the tattoo in a state that doesn't regulate tattoo facilities. And like Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois, like all the states that border us, and even like places that people go for vacation, Florida, they all are regulated by the state. So you would not have to wait, and you would not have to wait if you had like cosmetic tattoos, like microblading of your eyebrows, things like that. You can go ahead and give blood like right after that.
Interesting. So they've loosened it up a little bit. Now did they tighten it? It was really, and I know a lot of people were very scared. Let's go back a few years, since this is kind of our topic now. You know, during COVID, there was a lot of scare. A lot of people were scared to receive blood, but then there was also a lot of people that were scared to donate blood.
Right. And I do know that during the time of COVID, it got to be very scary at the hospitals in terms of if somebody needed blood. There were such shortages. Like, I know that, like, we have the Louisville television stations that we get in our area, and I know that, like, the University of Louisville was begging people to come donate, especially people that were O positive, because they were so short on blood. So, you know, during a time like COVID, and, you know, that's like, if there's, you know, disasters going on and things like that, that's when they need you to donate more than any other time.
Yeah, right. And especially, like, remember, like, whenever, like, yes, like, if there's been, like, a tragedy, you know, like a disaster from a tornado or something, they're always encouraging you to come and donate blood for that.
Right. And with, you know, and especially if somebody, I keep on saying, you know, but if you're O positive, they can make, well, they can't. Your blood is able to be given to people that are not O positive. So, like, it's kind of like the universal blood type, because there are certain blood types that can be given to other blood types, but then there's some blood types that, you know, like if they donated, they would only be able to donate, their blood could only be used for those certain blood types.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so they always say that whenever, you know, someone walks in with that, and what is it again? It's O
positive.
O positive, yeah. And they always say that that they are always wanting them, because they can go universal with any blood, right? You said?
Correct.
Well, that's nice, yeah.
But, you know, like whenever we did have, you know, COVID, I know that a lot of people really were afraid to get out and donate. But, you know, whenever you go to a healthcare facility, you know, they're taking, you know, like all the precautions that they can to help protect others, you know, like with the mask and with the gloves and gowns and different things that they utilize. And if you are at a point that you need to receive blood, you know, I know it can be a scary experience to need blood, but, you know, they do, you know, screen the blood, and, you know, they do everything, you know, humanly possible to make sure that the blood is safe. So, you know, blood is a lot safer now to receive than, you know, it was before they were able to screen it so carefully.
Right. And I think that's something that, and they have, I mean, looking for, I think that's the thing that I think everybody was so scared about, that, you know, making sure that if they had to receive blood, you know, that it was screened properly, and that it, you know, and what they were searching for. And of course, you know, with COVID, no one knew exactly, you know, what all was involved, and everybody was trying to figure it out. So I think there was a lot of fear on that, and fear of the unknown's the worst. And then, of course, then people wanting to donate blood were very scared to making sure that it was handled the way when they went in for the to donate, that it was handled properly. And I'm talking about from the needles to the to the every instrument they used was properly washed down or cleaned or was somehow disinfected.
Right.
So I think those were.
I do. I definitely feel that, especially with like whenever you go to one of the blood drives by the American Red Cross, they know their stuff. I feel that whenever you see the big red bus, that goes around whenever there's blood donations and things, I do feel that they are definitely on top of their game.
Yeah, I have to agree 100%. And it seemed like, during that time, because I did continue giving blood, and during that time, it seemed like they were really, like, they were very transparent about making sure, like, they were showing me that they were opening up, had been sanitized and had been opened up, brand new, everything they utilized, it seemed like.
Right.
And not that they don't always do that. I think they were just trying to, make sure that they were transparent on anybody, making sure everybody felt at ease.
Right. Yeah, because I think that they knew that everyone, during that time were very, very on edge, and and very much wanting to make sure that they were kept safe during any kind of medical situations that they were in.
Right. Because it is something, and it was kind of that where, especially, well, of course, I would say it wasn't just the beginning. It was like every part of COVID, we were learning new things every day and every hour. It seemed like something would change. We'd have this, piece of knowledge, and then all of a sudden it would kind of change to this, and there was so much, of that I think that brought out a lot of fear in people, which is, I mean, I understand that. I think everybody felt that, but I know that they were like trying to do their best to keep it as normal and keep it calm as possible, so that to make sure that people did realize how much blood donations, how important they are, and how valuable they are.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that in like we were saying, like any time that there is any kind of a disaster, whether whether it's a man-made disaster, a natural disaster, any kind of situation where there is a lot of trauma to people, there's going to be that need for blood even more than normal.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's something that we need to keep in mind and always remember that, and a lot of times, when there has been a disaster somewhere, they're like, like, what can you do to help? Well, that might be something that, that you can do, maybe you can't run a chainsaw, but you can go give blood,
Right.
And a lot of your blood donations, though, like, stay in the area they're used for, which is nice, too, to help out your community.
Right. Yeah, because I know that, like, whenever they were having the shortage in Louisville, they were wanting people to come to Louisville and donate, because that's where the blood was going to be, the blood bank was going to keep it, was in that area.
Which is nice to know. Now, it seems like to me, I'm going to roll back years ago, Melissa, and there was a student, and she had got something, I can't remember, of course back then I don't remember, I was younger, but she had got something and she needed a blood transfusion, and I remember them like asking people to come and donate in her, for her. And do they still do that? Do they do that kind of that one-on-one for that? Like if you had someone that needed a blood transfusion, do they still do that? I mean, I remember that, of course, this has been years ago. I just remember that they were asking people to donate for her, and I don't know if that was something like that is done. I mean, now, but now I do say this, which I love. They have started, whenever I, donate blood, like a couple weeks afterwards, it will tell me where the blood went to. Have you experienced that?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's the coolest thing. like it'll come up and it'll tell me like who received my blood, or not a specific name, but like it'll be it'll it'll tell me like what state or where it went, and or not state, but like what it went to. Yeah, it's really cool.
And I did look it up, and the American Red Cross says that you can do a directed donation, which is a donation of blood or platelets designated for a specific patient. And so you would have to meet the criteria for their blood, like their blood type, and then or a type that they could utilize, if you were O positive, or a type of blood that they would be able to use. And then if you met the criteria for blood donation, you can designate your blood be used for a specific patient. However, it says there is no scientific evidence that designated blood is safer than blood from other volunteers. And it says that the directed donors must meet the same eligibility requirements as anyone else. So, you still have to go, you still have to answer the questions and still have to be eligible to be able to donate. And a patient who wants to get direct donations would have to have their doctor submit a Red Cross Special Collections Order form for the Red Cross to collect blood for this specific person.
Okay.
So it looks like it can still, be done, but it looks like that they're saying that there's really no evidence that it's like a safer process. That, I could see, though, if there was like a shortage of blood, that, potentially something like that may work. But yeah, you can still do that.
Well, I just thought that was interesting. I remember they used to do that years ago, but then I didn't know if that was, if you had a loved one, and let's say all your family members were the same blood type, and they wanted to do that,
Right.
I didn't know if that was an option. So.
And then, also you have to, we like this girl that you were talking about, it isn't just, car accidents and disasters and things like that a person needs blood from. It can also be from illnesses that a person has. It could be from cancers or, liver disease, kidney disease. There's a lot of different reasons that a person would need blood due to an illness or platelets. And then also with major surgical procedures, also a lot of times people will end up needing blood. So, it's not just the accident. So you can imagine that by the time you count in the people that, have a certain illness, the people that have been in an accident, or the people that are having a major surgery, that those numbers start to really add up to a lot of people that would be in need of blood.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice that if you had planned, let's say that you have a planned surgery, I guess it's kind of nice to know, and that in your doctor says you're probably going to need blood, or you're going to need, it's kind of nice to know then possibly that, that somebody, if you have a family member that says, oh, I'd love to help out, out, then that's available.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even if even if you know someone and you don't want, even if you're not that blood type, let's just say that if, someone is going through something and they have maybe a blood donation in honor of that person, where it's going to other people, you're still helping out the people like your friend that has similar situations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's good to know that, and then just like with after I give blood, it talks about, I'll get a text message a week or two later that said it had arrived at the hospital and it was used, and of course they're not going to specifically tell me what hospital or which person, which it doesn't matter. It's just nice to have those updates, and that was something that I don't remember. That's kind of fairly new that they've started doing that.
I think that, that is good.
Yeah.
But especially, if you hear that there's a shortage, like in Louisville or Indy or, one of the areas around us, and you can go donate, even if you don't know someone at that point in time, that is in need of it, it's still, someone else's loved one or someone else's friend or family member that is in need of that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, and those are things that are just, just good to know. And also, it means a lot to the families, especially when there's a tragedy or emergency, and knowing that somebody's going to take time and donate blood and to give back. That means a lot.
Yeah, it does.
And whenever you are, if you're wanting to give blood, you need to take care of yourself and get ready, prepared for it. Like if you went ahead and, let's say that you made a reservation, or you went ahead and and set a time to come give blood. Those are things that, this is where the journey, I always feel like the prep time begins, to making sure that you're taking care of yourself and as far as getting rest, getting your body ready, and then also making sure that you eat some kind of a big breakfast, and and also drink a lot of water.
Right.
And
it says you should drink an extra 16 ounces of water before you go to give blood. Have a healthy meal, but avoid fatty foods like hamburgers, fries, ice cream. Wear a shirt with sleeves that you can roll up above your elbows, and let the Red Cross know if you have a preferred arm where you have successfully been able to give blood in the past.
Well, that's good to know. I didn't realize about the the burgers and fries. I'm not gonna say that I didn't haven't had that, and I'm not gonna say that. I mean, yes, I do try to increase my water, but I do believe that whoever receives my blood will be receiving some coffee in that. There'll be some coffee in that bloodstream, okay?
And then it says after your donation to make sure and eat a snack and relax for a few minutes in the recovery area, and to drink extra fluids, to drink an extra 4 glasses of liquids and avoid alcohol for the next 24 hours, and also to tell others about your good deed. Because, a lot of times if people hear that others have donated blood, and then if they have questions, it kind of may help others to begin to donate.
Yeah, and I think that's good to sometimes, like, people, I think it depends on how you were raised. Like, I remember being taught about making sure you do this, give back. But maybe some haven't heard about it, and just kind of encouraging others, you can do it too, you can give blood too.
Well, and some people may not realize, where they could go to give blood. They may not realize that they could, that there are people, there's places to go in their local area, so they're not having to drive to, like, Louisville to give blood, or they're not having to drive to Indianapolis, that they can give it, like, right in their town, more than likely.
Right.
Very close to their town, if their town's really small.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Good, because that means a lot, too. Everybody's busy, and, and not only, are you giving your blood, but also, your time. And I think everybody's always on it seems like a busy schedule, that you kind of want it to be very convenient for you.
Right.
And
I do think that if you have a loved one that is battling something where they are having to get blood transfusions or platelets or a blood product, I do think that it would make them feel good if people went out and donated blood, even if it wasn't specifically for them, or if it was specifically for them, just to know that others are helping out.
Exactly. And yeah, and that's important. Those are some important, you know, reasons for doing it, and also good reasons for doing it. And I think that, I always like, once the, you give the blood, and they've done, you kind of have, Bob Holler always said this, and he's right, you kind of get a mini oh, sorry, hitting buttons, a mini physical. When you go to give blood, you kind of get them, because they do check your blood pressure, they your iron levels, and so you kind of get a mini physical. And so testing, but then after you've gave the blood, then the blood still goes through other testing before it's actually given. And that's where I was happy to get it reported that it did arrive and was used.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, whenever you do give blood, they are making sure that you are healthy enough to give the blood, and then they do screen that blood. And I actually know someone. It was a relative of mine in Illinois that they found out that they had hepatitis, and that's how they found it out. Was they went to donate blood, and then during the screening process, one of their tests, they tested positive for hepatitis, and so they were able to get treated for that based on them giving blood.
Oh, wow. Well, that's I mean, you talk about like learning. I mean, that right there, yeah. Well, that's I mean,
and it is good that the screening worked. It's like it did. That would be one of the things that could be transmitted by blood. So to me, that shows that they are doing what they're saying that they're doing. They are screening the blood, or they wouldn't have caught that on the person that I knew in Illinois that got contacted by the Red Cross that they needed to see their physician because they had tested positive for that during their screening.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, they say it's like a mini physical, so. These are wonderful reasons, and I don't know that everybody always knows all of that it does it's good, and it's good for you too.
Right.
So as far as how long in between giving blood are you supposed to wait? I can't remember. Is it?
It depends on let's see here. I am so sorry. You must have not donated in the last 56 days.
Okay.
And if you're doing a whole blood standard donation, you must wait 8 weeks between whole blood donations, 7 days between platelet donations, and 16 weeks between Power Red donations.
Okay, and explain some of those, because like you talked about the platelets, and I do know, but explain a little bit of differences on giving like the platelets and giving tell a little bit the different things you can do.
Well, like you can just do like the standard donation is the whole blood donation where they draw blood. And so that is like the one that you have to wait the 8 weeks because it's like your whole blood. It's like actually just, that's the one that most people do. Mm-hmm. And then you have to wait 7 days between platelet donations, and that is where only your platelets are taken. Like, it isn't taken, like, your whole, like, like whenever you see people that are giving blood and it's like the red, coming out, that would be the whole blood. And platelets are more of like a yellowy, off-color, clear fluid. So you can donate more platelets because your platelets rebuild quicker than what your whole blood does. And then every 16 weeks is for Power Red donations, and those are the ones that are like automated. So it's like you're getting like, you know a better way to explain that, Becky, with the Power Red donation?
No,
Is it Power Red or the whole blood?
Yeah, I'm not really well enough on that. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's kind of.
Because it says that the
I get. I know the platelets though. It seems like you have to really like they take a little bit longer, right?
yes, because it would have to be like
Because they
kind of divide them out. So
right, exactly. Yeah, I know that usually takes longer, and I know that also it seems like it um it seemed like it's a little bit of a different criteria to do it. I don't maybe I'm wrong. I know I just normally just do the whole blood.
it says if you do the whole blood, that it helps like the trauma patients and those undergoing surgery. It takes about an hour to do.
Yeah.
It can be all blood types, and you can do it every 56 days, which is 6 times a year. And then with the Power Red donation, it is that you give a concentrated dose of red cells. And it helps people that are trauma patients, newborns, emergency transfusions during birth, people with sickle cell anemia, and it takes about an hour and a half. And you ideally would want to be O positive, O negative, A negative, or B negative. You can only do this 3 times a year. And then the platelets, it helps people with cancer treatments, organ transplant procedures, surgical procedures, and it takes about 2.5 to 3 hours to do. And it's for A positive, A negative, B positive, O positive, AB positive, and AB negative. And you can do it every 7 days, so you can do it up to 24 times a year.
No.
And then you can also do a plasma donation, where you donate your plasma, and it is used in emergency and trauma situations to help stop bleeding. So your plasma helps to kind of thicken up the blood, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
And it takes an hour and 15 minutes. It's for those that are AB positive or negative, and you can do that every 28 days or 13 times a year. That I would say that the majority of people, like unless you specify otherwise, you're just doing like the whole blood donation. That's about an hour.
It's very interesting for sure. And I mean that learns. I mean you're learning a lot there just by just kind of going over that, you know, and kind of. I think a lot of people do not understand and know about that.
Yeah, I think that with the blood donations, you're helping like so many different people with just so many different types of situation because like we were talking about, like for instance with the platelets, that's going to help people stop bleeding. So like that could be like either someone that has a life-threatening injury, but then it could also be someone that has some kind of cancer treatment, or someone that like they're having liver issues, kidney issues, and for whatever reason their blood isn't like clotting like it should. The platelets can kind of help to thicken up their blood so that they're not as likely to have like severe bleeding.
Right. And I think those are I mean good to know that, and to also know, and maybe for those that for whatever reason don't even know their blood type, you'll find out your blood type. They'll let you know.
Right.
And that's good to know. I think of course we always talk about knowing your body, knowing everything about yourself, and those are good. Like again, going back kind of to the mini physical you're getting, and you're also getting kind of a mini physical, but also you're learning your blood type. You're learning about yourself.
And you're learning, you're learning about like all the different people that you're able to help with your gift, with your donation.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's so important. And I think just giving back. I think everybody that normally that gives blood, I think I think that that's something that they never regret. You always are happy and you always feel better after you've done it.
Yeah.
Now I always try to, they always tell me, no heavy lifting, light, make sure you eat a meal and all that. So I always try to tell them, so do I not have to no house cleaning today? Doesn't that say somewhere in my in the paperwork you're giving me, no housekeeping, no housework tonight? So
usually they say that, like, if they're telling someone, kind of, no strenuous activity, that, if you're starting to get really, tired and wore down from something, or if something causes you discomfort when you're trying to do it, that's probably like your body's way of saying, you're probably, overdoing it a bit.
Yeah, yeah. So that's always just a good thing, just to, keep in mind that after, just plan your day accordingly. You don't have to. I have, I'm joking. I have, after I've, left. It's hard to follow rules, and we know rules are made for a reason, right? And I don't mean to be a rule breaker, and I'm not promoting that, but it's hard then afterwards if you have to do stuff. You know what I mean? Sometimes, so you might want to plan that if you were going to go out and you're going to do gardening, or you're going to do lifting, or maybe lifting, a bunch of heavy stuff or whatever, do it the day before. Just, try to get it done before you actually give afterwards. So then afterwards, after you give blood, you won't be doing that.
Right.
Or that's when you ask.
So don't be donating blood if that's like like if you're a high school student that donates blood, don't, maybe avoid the day that you're going to have like a big track meet, or, that you're going to have a football game, or, if it's going to be something where you're doing a lot of activity, do it on another day than the day that you have a big game.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and you just kind of got to plan. Yeah. But, but it's not a bad thing though to take a day a little bit lighter, right?
Right.
Not a bad thing. So, anyway, but Melissa, I hope that we've encouraged everyone that are, if you're able to give, please do. And this is something that you, again, can't buy at Walmart. You have to, it has to be giving the gift of life, helping others out. That's what it's about. And if you've not done it, don't. It is it's a little scary at first, a little intimidating, but I promise you'll be happy afterwards. And also, that, it might be something you regularly want to try to get on a routine to do.
That is true.
Yeah. So I appreciate highlighting that this morning, and hopefully, maybe helping out the Red Cross. And, they used to regularly come on, and I know they've cut back, with their people, and so they don't have the people they used to have. That Joe used to come on regularly, and so it's just important to get the word out though for the Red Cross, and blood donations are still valuable and still very important.
Yes, that is true.
So thank you, Hoosier Uplands, for bringing that to our attention. Right.
Well, thank you for having us.
Well,
and if anyone has any questions or, anything about any of our services, you can call 812-849-4447, and we will get you through to the right department.
All right. And Melissa, I'd like to thank our sponsors this morning, and thank you, Hoosier Uplands. You guys are wonderful sponsors. You guys do so much for all of the different areas in the community. Thank you for covering us and the other communities around. Also want to thank Salem Crossing, Walmart, Mediview Healthcare Center, Americans for Prosperity. They'll be on tomorrow. Mama Rosa's Restaurant, which celebrated a big St. Patrick's Day yesterday. Fox for Lee Wealth Management, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Windhorse for the Home, Paley and English, and McAllister Land Consulting. So, and a thank you again, Melissa Jeremiah with Hoosier Uplands. Let's have the best Monday ever, okay?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, thanks.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye, hon.
Bye.
cheese and creamy horseradish sauce. There's still old favorites like the pig pen, grilled wings, chicken tenders, the sampler platter, ribs, meat by the pound, and haystack onion rings.
Formulations are made from the highest quality, clean ingredients, no fluff, no fillers, just pure, effective CBD solutions designed to help and support health. In 2 non-clinical surveys, 81% of customers experienced more calm. 80% said it helped with pain after physical activity, and an impressive 90% said they slept better. If you struggle with a health concern and haven't found something that works, try making the change to CB Distillery. And with over 2 million customers and a solid 100% money-back guarantee, CB Distillery is the source to trust. They even have several products to choose from for pets. Get 20% off your purchase today at cbdistillery.com with the code BUBBA. That's cbdistillery.com. Use the code BUBBA for 20% off.
Have you tried the innovative Helix sleep mattress yet? Well, nothing beats a great night's sleep, the kind you get with Helix. So we love them, and Helix has over 12,000 five-star reviews with customized mattresses that fit your sleep needs because they know everyone is unique. They even have big and tall mattresses and mattresses for the kids. But how do you know which mattress is right for you? Well, Helix has you covered. Just take the Helix Sleep Quiz and find the perfect mattress in under 2 minutes. Place your order and your mattress will be delivered right to the door free of charge. And the best part, Helix knows there's no better way to try a mattress than by sleeping on it in your own home. That's why they offer a 100-night trial for you and a 10 to 15-year warranty. Right now, Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders at helixsleep.com/Bubba. Best offer yet, by the way, and it won't last long. So if you've been waiting to try a Helix mattress, here it is. Now's the time. Head to helixsleep.com/Bubba for 20% off your mattress order.
It's the final year of the Rick and Bubba Show. From Calhoun County to radio royalty, Rick and Bubba.
6 minutes past. From Sweet Home, Alabama to the world, a brand new hour of the Rick and Bubba Show. Thank you for being with us today. Rick and Bubba Buffalo Wild Wings Charity Charge Day today. So participating Buffalo Wild Wings locations in Sweet Home, Alabama are ready to go today. 10% of the food goes to another wonderful nonprofit called Find You Foundation. So go out and enjoy great food today. Help another great organization. And another Rick and Bubba University, the podcast, episode 4 of the ongoing series, Letters from the Audience. If you haven't caught it over the weekend yet, go grab that wherever you get podcasts. Bubba, we will start this hour talking about, of course, Trump. Trumpy.
Big weekend for Trump.
Oh, Trumpness. So the left, they are terrified, and they're trying everything they can do to stop Trump. And one of the things which they successfully did on January the 6th is to present Donald Trump as dangerous.
A threat to democracy.
He is dangerous. Now, you know, because they know if Americans would like to have a strong economy and to be respected around the world, if that's what they're going to base the election on, then Trump's the easy choice. Plus, maybe you don't want to have a president that has dementia. So, but they say, well, we have to make sure that all the Americans that are drifting to Trump, we must demonize them. We must say that a vote for Trump is a vote for danger.
Danger, stranger.
What he is a leader of anarchy and chaos, and so he's just dangerous, is what he is, and so are all his supporters. Trump made this comment that we're going to share with you, and then we'll talk to you about what the left is doing with it. Which,
well, you've probably already heard the comment in a headline of a news story. Trump promises bloodbath if not elected. This in the backdrop of January the 6th. But listen to what he actually said.
Mexico has taken, over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it. Went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of mine,
So Trump is talking about cars flooding into the country with no tax on it from Mexico, made by China. And if he does not get elected and does not put a tariff on it, it's going to be a bloodbath for the auto industry.
Yes.
Clearly what he's referring to.
And then he said not just there, but economically in so many other places too.
Yes.
He's saying the way that the left is doing business is going to be a disaster. And if I don't get elected, that disaster, a economic bloodbath, is what's coming.
Now look at the headlines here. Adler has brought up from NBC News, CBS News, the Rolling Stone. Trump says there will be a bloodbath if he loses the election.
Yeah.
Trump says there will be a bloodbath. Trump says there will be a bloodbath. He did say that, but that headline is clearly taking it out of context.
Yeah, on purpose.